I'm Brody.
I'm Credence.
And you're watching the R360 News.
Good morning, RedHawk Nation, and welcome to your R360 morning announcements. I'm your host, Jaden Friesen.
And I'm Donovan Fricky. Welcome to February 22nd. It is day 2 on the school calendar, which means it's volleyball for the grades 7 and 8 intramurals.
In our top story today, we have another staff member favorite book coming your way this morning.
The book is called Father to the Fatherless. The Charles Muley story was written by Paul Bode.
The staff member writes, "This is a biography of one of my personal heroes, Charles Muley. Charles and Esther rescue and adopt children in Kenya.
They are the largest family in the world, with 18,000 children. I was blessed beyond measure with the opportunity to spend a week with them in their home in Kenya in 2019.
Can you guess which staff member loved this book?
If you guessed, Mr. Schwarzenberg, you are correct.
And it's time for another R360 rerun today. We'll take a look at a name drop from Isaiah and Kyra Friesen.
This is Name Dropping, the game where RedHawk staff and students try to outdo each other with who has the most remarkable friends and family members.
American essayist Joseph Epstein defines name dropping as follows. Name dropping is using the magic that adheres to the names of celebrated people to establish one's superiority, while at the same time making the next person feel the drabness of his or her own life.
I haven't been this upset since my good friend Taylor was rudely upstaged by my other friend Kanye, who was defending my best friend Beyonce.
I've been through worse. Once at Elon Musk's birthday party, I was seated between Silvio Berlusconi and Elon Musk.
I'm Isaiah Friesen.
And I'm Kyra Friesen.
And this is Name Dropping.
Hello, RedHawks Nation. My name is Dean Evison. I'm the cousin of Isaiah and Kyra. I've been fortunate through my life to have a career in hockey. I was first a hockey player, played in the Western Hockey League, American Hockey League, and I played 800 games in the NHL. I was also very fortunate to get into coaching right after my playing days. I also coached in the Western Hockey League, the American Hockey League, and I am now the current head coach of the Minnesota Wild. My dream was to play in the NHL. Whatever your dream is when you grow up, please go for it. It can happen. Please stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
Those are all of your announcements for today, and have a great day at Rosenberg School.
But please note that as February's Black History Month, we will sign off the year today with a very important video featuring Harriet Tubman. Let's take a look.
Good morning, Rosenberg School. I'm Taniola Adinton, class of 2024, and this is your Black History Month feature for today.
The Underground Railroad was a secret network of routes and safe houses that helped people escape slavery to settle in Canada as well as in some free northern states. Some believe that secret messages in the form of quilt patterns helped enslaved African men and women escape the bonds of captivity in the southern states. Likewise, it is believed that singing gospel songs was a means to communicate among slaves who traveled the Underground Railroad. The lyrics provided verbal, coded communication that uncovered hidden messages and warnings about their travels.
Wade in the water, children, wade.
The bold, selfless acts of one determined individual contributed to the freedom of many. Harriet Tubman, the Black Moses, as she was often called, is well known for leading many enslaved people to freedom in Canada by following the North Star. She made countless journeys and never once lost a passenger. Tubman, a runaway slave from Maryland, was determined to abolish the misery and suffering of her people.
Before achieving fame as a conductor on the Underground Railroad, Tubman was an enslaved African woman. She felt like she almost was actually free as she toiled with little supervision while felling trees and cutting up lumber in Maryland. Once, while in the fields, she saw someone trying to escape and got involved. She was injured and in turn became more steadfast in her wish to be free. Tubman was the youngest of her family and worked with them in the fields. When she married and discovered her husband was not willing to head north with her, she set out alone.
She then ventured to Philadelphia, where she associated with abolitionists and learned about the connections of the Underground Railroad. When the far-reaching United States fugitive law was passed in 1850, Harriet Tubman guided fugitive enslaved African men and women into Canada. Angry slave owners posted rewards for her capture, but she continued her work despite great personal risk. Tough and courageous, in spite of her petite frame, she always carried a weapon intimidating those who supported slavery and discouraging enslaved people from backing out of the strenuous journey. She threatened anyone who considered turning back, knowing the danger of those involved, revealing the routes and safe house locations.
As the conductor, Tubman had the problem of keeping people motivated and together as they traveled by night and hid by day. Because Tubman was so successful at organizing these group escapes, slave owners offered high rewards for her capture. She is thought to have led as many as 19 rescue missions. While the possibility of torture or death or being resold into the Deep South always existed, it was the loss of family members that Tubman feared most. She made a point of rescuing all of her family, settling them in both Ontario and later New York State. She gave her life to making people free.
St. Catharines, Ontario was one of the towns in which Harriet passed through on her journeys. The town offered employment opportunities to the escaped enslaved people. Many of the former fugitives settled there, including her own parents, brothers, sisters, and their families. Harriet Tubman lived in St. Catharines from 1851 to 1857. Harriet's role in the Underground Railroad movement was one of the many inspiring accomplishments of her life. She was an activist in the abolitionist movement, worked as a nurse in the Civil War, and served as a spy for the Union forces in South Carolina.
The need for the Underground Railroad ended after the American Civil War. Tubman had been actively involved with the Northern forces as a nurse, spy, and cook. She supported suffrage and founded a home for the homeless before she passed away in 1913 at the age of 93.
God's gonna trouble the water.